Tonight on Studio One, could your child be driven to suicide by school bullying?
Chef Paul Kennedy shows us what he has learned about spices during the summer.
And another plucky challenger takes on the guessing game.
Studio One.
As always, live from the heart of Dubai. Hello and welcome to another edition of Studio One. Tonight we find out the emotional impact of bullying and give some practical advice for parents whose children are being tormented at school.
As always, we want to know your thoughts throughout the show, so now is the time to express your views. If you're on Twitter, remember to hashtag Studio One Live when you send your message to @Dubai1TV.
You can email studio1@dmi.ae. Or join in the chat right now on our busy Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Studio One Live.
And why not text your thoughts throughout the show to our hotline number, which is 056 680 1018.
Too many ways to get in touch, can't remember. Now, let's see what's caught our eyes in the last 24 hours with this evening's Studio One News. It's International Makeup, that's not the cosmetic sort. Sewing machine, swap ideas and TV dinner day. Obviously, not enough days in the year to celebrate national days, but we want to celebrate International Bad Advice Day, commemorating those low-cost counsellors the world over, as well as those well-meaning friends who can't help but give their pennies worth and stick their oar in. Got some fairly interesting advice right here on the page at the moment, but Ash, over to you. The worst, forget the good advice, we don't want to know that, that's boring. The worst advice you've ever had.
Well, I've had quite a few, but the most painful one that I can think of was when I bought my brand new sunglasses. It had a sticker on. My friend told me, if you want to get the sticker off, rub some nail polish remover on the glass. And I did just that, and I had to throw the sunglasses. Never used it after that.
Bad advice, that's what it is. History is littered with it, of course. Those great souls that tell you, when faced with a shark in the water, stay still. What are you going to do? You're either going to sink, it's the last thing you're going to do. That's bad advice. I think for me personally, had a good job in London back in the day, working for a good newspaper. I was young, you know, I was full of myself. A friend gave me the advice to say, go freelance, it's the right time. I didn't work for 2 years, he got my job as well. So I think that goes down as bad advice. What are the people saying on Twitter, Facebook?
Twitter is going insane with their views on bad advice. I am Nifam says, phones running slow, pour an energy drink on it. Interesting. Peter says...
Gives it extra fizz,
yeah.
I suppose, is it?
Peter says, does your friend own an expensive handbag? If so, secretly emboss it with the word replica. You will both share a good laugh and perhaps never be friends again. And finally, Mark says that Dinah movie looks awful. Career low on Naomi Watts. Big chat around the corner with her agent Shirley. Hashtag bad advice.
Have a word with the agent on that occasion. Keep your thoughts coming. You can tweet us, you can Facebook, as we mentioned a little earlier on. So many ways to get in touch. Not some bad advice coming up in the kitchen this evening. Well, fingers crossed. We'll wait and see. Let's see who is cooking this evening.
Right, for the first time on season 4, Chef Paul Kennedy joins us in the kitchen. Welcome back, Chef.
Thank you. How are you doing?
It's great to have you back on.
And I have no bad advice for you, by the way.
All right. I mean, we trust your advice. No bad advice is coming from Chef Paul Kennedy. Right. So this whole week, as you all know, is about travel-inspired recipes. Yep. Did you do a lot of traveling over the summer?
Actually, we didn't do much traveling over the summer. We just went to places like Fajira and so on, due to the fact that we have a new menu coming out of Mango Tree and so on. So we had lots to do at the restaurant and so on. But I mean, something that I learned new was this dish that I'm doing right now.
What is it called?
It's called pad char khe. Pad char khe. So it's lamb with a spicy finger root ginger, fresh peppercorn and hot basil sauce.
Well, it
very,
sounds
very
great.
spicy.
It sounds great. So I will be joining you in the kitchen in just a bit, but for now, here's a quick reminder of what you can win this week on Studio One.
Studio One gives you the chance to win amazing prizes. This week, you could win an energizing ritual from Maven Spa, beauty products from OPI and Un Natural, nail goodies from Sally Hansen, and our star prize, an ultimate adventure package for 4 at Wadi Adventure in Al Ain. But to win, you've got to play. For your chance to join us playing live on the show, simply email your name and mobile number to studio1@dmi.ae. Good luck.
Keep your thoughts coming through via social media. Don't eat fruit after 6 p.m. That was bad advice as well. Who ever gave that one? Just it's one of those sort of diet fad things, isn't it? What's wrong with fruit after 6 p.m.? That'll kill you.
Right, moving on. Now it's time for something that every parent dreads. Discovering that your child is the victim of bullying. Recent high-profile cases in the UK have seen young people driven to suicide, and it's brought fresh attention to the subject.
Here to help us understand how to react if the worst should happen to our kids are psychologists Dr. Amy Bailey from Kids First Medical Centre and Mamta Saha from Think Spa London. Ladies, thanks for being with us. Some good advice coming our way very shortly. Such a troubling and emotional subject, this one, one that's touched me personally in recent months as well. But before we get on to the bullied, because I think we talk a lot about the bullied and the emotions they go through, I want to try and get into the mind of the bully. Mamta, start me off. I mean, is an individual born as a bully, or do you become a bully over... What makes somebody bully?
It's a really good question. Ultimately, we are shaped by the environment around us, and we will mirror whatever we see. So if we've grown up in an environment that's been quite aggressive, or we've seen people be passive-aggressive to each other, not necessarily overtly aggressive, then we'll deem that behaviour to be normal, and then we'll start exhibiting that behaviour, and that's what forms a bully. So it's about the exposure that we've had and the things that we've seen around us.
Now, Amy, you work with children very closely, and you're the best person to give us advice on this. Now, bullying is something that most of us would have experienced at one point or the other, or at least witnessed. Now, some children might be a little more susceptible to this than the rest. What makes a child a victim?
I think that there isn't really one set child that can be a victim. I mean, the children that come to see us at the clinic can range from very popular, seemingly outgoing children who are bullied because somebody may be jealous of how they are, to children who are more shy and retiring. So I think sort of what makes someone be a victim of bullying is difficult to quantify.
I'm talking about that quantifying as well. I talked about that sort of personal experience, you know, that awful moment when your child comes home and says, I'm being bullied, I'm being bullied. But suddenly you're put on a pedestal because you need to work out, hang on, is he being bullied? Or is this just a word that's being thrown around the schoolyard at the moment? Is that part and parcel of the process from a parent's point of view?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to judge, and I think, you know, most importantly, you need to listen to your child. If they're coming and saying they're being bullied because you don't know what the situation is exactly as you explained, I would talk them through what it is that they're quantifying as being bullied. So what are the things that have happened, and listen to them, and, you know, from that make your judgments. You know your own child as to whether this is something that you think is serious for them.
I think that communication over there is really important. Now, Mamta, in recent years, a series of bullying-related issues that we have seen has had a direct connection between bullying and suicide. It's apparently said that it's the largest reason for death among youngsters. Do you really believe that there's a direct connection between bullying and suicide?
Yeah, there could be. I mean, to the extreme of what Amy was saying, if a child is not communicative and doesn't share with their parents what's going on for them, then they can start to feel extremely isolated and start to feel very alone and like they've got no way out but to, unfortunately, commit suicide. And we've seen it many times over and over again that, you know, you just think your child is fine, happily going on. You might, as a parent, pick up on clues, and I just want to build on that, that don't ignore your child if your child is being quiet or more quiet than usual. You know, really explore that with your child, because they may be feeling very isolated.
Particularly if they're showing a reluctance to go to school, that's a real key behaviour to look for.
I mean, we're talking of signs here. I suppose it's a difficult science, isn't it? There's no manual that's been written that says these are the things to look out for in every single child, because they're all individuals. But just give us some practical advice if you can, Amy, the things for parents to look out for that might be a little red flag.
Yeah. I mean, any significant change in your child's behaviour, how they are at home, would be a warning sign. So Are they being more socially withdrawn? Do they seem to have a lack of confidence in themselves? You know, are they keen to go to school? Are they wanting to hang out with their friends, or are they isolating themselves in their bedroom? They would be the sorts of behaviours that you would commonly see.
Okay.
And how important is it for parents to be in touch with the school authorities and have that comfort level to be able to communicate with them in case they spot any signs of bullying, Mamta?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's taken very, very seriously here in this region. In fact, you know, there's a partnership that makes bullying zero tolerance in this region. So speak to the school about it, because it is behaviour that is not allowed, it's not permitted. And if you are worried about your child being bullied at school, then absolutely highlight it with the authorities. Don't be afraid to go that far.
I think if it's not talking about, then it becomes hidden, and we can't do something about it unless we are talking openly with the schools about what's happening.
Need that transparency.
Yeah.
Now, this is a huge subject, and a lot of you have had your views come in through on our Twitter and Facebook fan page, and we'll have the ladies answer your questions in just a bit.
Take a short break. Your views on bullying coming up
Right after this.
Welcome back to the show. Yeah, as we mentioned, your thoughts coming in at the moment, flooding in, are on the various social networks. Facebook at the moment. Have your say there. We'll try and get as many answers as we can in due time. A couple of the comments coming up here. Hamta Makami, thank you very much indeed for your thoughts coming at the moment. She's eager to know what all the team think about this. My child is just 2 years old, but if they're bullied in the future, I'd report it to the school and put my child in for some karate lessons. So taking the law into her own hands almost there, taking a physical approach. Is that the right approach or not? We'll find out in just a few seconds. Another thought here from Hataru. Hataru, thank you very much indeed. Some great thoughts coming through from Hataru Chandran. Some advice as well. So get yourself onto Facebook to see those points that they're putting forward. But good point again. We should not just find out how to defend our kids from being bullied, but should put an end to this problem by finding what causes people to bully and try and help them. This way, there'll be no such thing as bullying any longer. And finally, I just want to bring your attention to this one from Walid Maimoon. Walid, thank you very much indeed for your comments here. Walid has sent his through saying, we should not just be finding out about our kids from being bullied. Should put an end to this problem. He's asking, is there any way that you can take a more forceful approach? A thought that's also been backed up by Hataru, whose brother was bullied at school, went and sorted out there themselves. Instead, school management stood in, helped out as well, ended up being bullied by the supervisor of the school. Now my brother's even more afraid of telling us what's happening. These are the risks involved. Let's go back to Ash to get the thoughts from the doctors. Where do the school and the parents stand on this situation? As a parent, are you in control of the destiny of your child, or is it up to the school?
Thank you, Tom. Now, ladies, you've been listening. I mean, the concern, I mean, it's more shocking than I expected, especially our first viewer, Hamta, who is already trying to prepare her child for what might come in future. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I understand a parent's anxiety. You know, we hear the stories of what ultimately can happen. I think what's important is that we keep things in perspective. If we're very anxious about something, what we don't want to do is transmit that anxiety onto the child. In terms of advising your child to take the matter into their own hands, naturally we feel very angry, we want our child to fight back. But what that leads to an escalation of the situation and the violence. A bully wants the attention, they want the reaction. So if you can encourage your child to walk away, find somebody that they feel comfortable talking to, or a safe place to go, then the bully will get bored because they're not getting the reaction that they're looking for.
Just to build on that, I think it's really important to instill confidence in your kids. So, you know, she mentioned karate, but that's fine, but just for self-defense, not to go out and fight with the bullies. I think you need to raise confidence in kids because it is a common anxiety that a lot of parents are facing at the moment.
Yeah, but still, from a parent's point of view, don't you think that they will feel a little more comfortable and this might give them a little bit of relief to know that their child can defend themselves in case it's a serious situation where they cannot shout for help?
Yeah, I think it's about confidence, really. It's about seeing that confidence in your child. So it doesn't have to be karate, it could be drama classes or singing classes or any sort of sport. But when you see your child holding their own, you know, standing upright in their body language and being confident within themselves. And I think that then gives the parents a sense of security about the child being able to protect themselves. Yeah.
Now, all this while we've been talking about how to deal with a child who has been bullied. But is it possible for a parent to spot if their child is a bully, Amy?
Yeah, I mean, children who bully, again, it can be for a variety of reasons. It may be that they've been bullied themselves, so they're using the bullying behaviour to take control of the situation. But you will see them, it doesn't tend to happen in isolation, so it will be a part of that's the way that they relate to other people. So do they naturally relate in quite a hostile or aggressive way to people? Are they able to show empathy in other people? So if something's happened, are they able to put themselves in somebody's shoes and understand the repercussions of that and that person? Because somebody who isn't able to do that is more likely to engage in bullying behaviour.
What are your thoughts on that,
Yeah,
Mountain?
just to build on that, what we're talking about is emotional intelligence. So knowing that your child is able to be aware when they've upset somebody or they've done something that might offend somebody. And if you're noticing that your child is a bit careless around how they treat other kids and other people, then I think you need to pull them up on that and really reinforce the impact that they're having on the people around them and the kids around them, so you can raise that self-awareness and the emotional intelligence.
Bullying, the third leading cause of suicide among youngsters, a very serious subject. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us your expert advice. Do keep your thoughts coming in on our Facebook and Twitter page. For now, it's time to take a quick break. But when we return, Chef Paul Kennedy heats up our kitchen with some spicy pad chai kai. We'll be right back. In the kitchen with Chef Paul Kennedy, and things are really heating up in here. What's happening, Chef?
Okay, so I started off here by putting some garlic and the finger root ginger into the pan. I've actually got the lamb already cooked.
Okay.
So I'm using the same pan to get all the flavour from the lamb that I put in earlier.
Okay, so the lamb is already cooked. Okay, so we'll get to that in a bit. Tell us what else you've added now.
So I've added some chilli and some kaffir lime leaf. You know, real nice Thai ingredients to give a real nice flavour in there. And then I'm going to add some baby corn, some baby sweet corn.
Okay. Baby corn.
So this is a dish that we're actually starting a new menu on Sunday at Mango Tree. So this is a dish that's making its appearance on the menu.
That's nice, because with Thai dishes we don't really get to try that many dishes that have lamb in them. So I think this is quite a refreshing.
Well, this is this is like a real classic Thai sauce that we're using, but then using it with lamb instead.
Okay, what is it usually made with?
It's usually fish, fish or prawns or. So these are fresh peppercorns that I'm going to be putting into this. Very, very spicy. Got a lot of heat to them, but add a real nice flavour to the dish as well.
Okay, Chef Paul has warned us right from the start that this is a very spicy dish. So good luck, Tom.
It's got a good kick to it.
Right,
so this is chicken stock. So I've added some chicken stock in just to really.
Pan sizzling. So now this is the sauce for the lamb, is it?
Sorry.
What's the consistency that you expect out of this? How is this?
It's like they say, you know, there's always that sauce consistency where you put a spoon in, you rub your finger along, and no sauce moves back in. So as long as it can cover the back of a spoon, then that's the sort of consistency that we're looking for. Right. So that's the chicken stock in there. Okay. I'm going to add some.
Under 3 minutes to plate the dish.
No problem. Oyster sauce.
What sauce is that?
Oyster.
Oyster sauce.
Oyster sauce. So these are all the Thai staple sauces that go into a. We've got some soy sauce.
Of course.
Tablespoon of soy sauce. We've got Tom's favourite, the fish sauce. So
look at you, pleasing us right from your first appearance in our new season.
So the fish sauce goes in there, so that's really added a nice kick and
2 minutes to go, Chef.
A smell to it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, just to add a bit of sweetness to it, because obviously with Thai food we want that sour, the sweet, the spice and the salt to really...
I think that's one of the best things about Thai food. I mean, I've mentioned this earlier, Thai is definitely my favourite cuisine, and that's what I like about it, because there's a bit of spice, there's a bit of sweetness,
there's a bit of
it's
everything
a bit sour.
in there. And then this last ingredient I'm going to quickly add in is hot basil. Okay, it's like a Thai basil, but it's going to add a real nice kick and flavour to it.
Minute and a half to go, Chef.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Okay.
So that's just going to quickly get... So you see all those flavours in there now, really nice. And so as I said, the lamb's just been cooked. So just the lamb...
You didn't tell us how you've cooked the lamb.
Just in a pan, I just pan-fried it.
Just pan-fried it.
Yeah, about 4 minutes on each side. So it's nice and medium to medium rare.
And did you use regular cooking oil for that? Or?
Yes,
okay.
yeah. Let me just get rid of that.
So the lamb chops go in. We have a minute to plate the dish.
So it's just going to quickly heat
them
them
through. Cooked on both
through.
sides for 4 minutes before chucking it into
so
the
it's
sauce.
about 8 minutes altogether.
Okay.
For this dish. Now I'm just going to bring this over here. So the sauce is all ready. We've got that nice consistency of the sauce. So we serve this with rice as well.
You know, I'm sure it smells great. Unfortunately, I have a blocked nose because of the weather. I can't smell it, but then it looks delicious. I can tell you that much.
Let me start by just plating this up.
All right.
Nicely there, like that.
Beautiful. And you mentioned that this is in the new menu at the Mango Tree?
Yeah, the new menu at Mango Tree.
All right.
Let me just quickly chuck that on
all
there.
that sauce in. Beautiful. Even the presentation, so many colors on the plate. I think visually itself, it's super appealing.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
So that's the pad char.
It's really hot. Look at that.
So
medium rare, just the way we like it.
Should have a real nice kick to it.
Spicy. It is. You weren't kidding when you said it's spicy. Love it, chef. Great job with this dish. I absolutely love it. You should try this one. Now the recipe to this is available on our Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Studio One Live. Right now, I'm sure Tom's dying to come and try, but before that, it's time for the guessing game.
Indeed it is. It is time to play the guessing game right now, where you have to help me guess what is appearing on the screen behind me by describing what you see in just 60 seconds. For some reason tonight I'm flying solo. But Ash has agreed to be the official adjudicator this evening and referee, so she'll make sure there's no cheating going on whatsoever. So let's see who we have on line number 1 to play the guessing game. Good evening, who's there?
Hi, this is Salman.
Salman, how are you doing? You all right?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good stuff. Fairly self-explanatory. You explain, I'll try and guess. We've got 60 seconds to get as many as we can.
Okay, all right.
You happy with the rules so far?
I think I've got them.
Good stuff. Right, we've got, as I said, just the 1 minute, so I'll do my best. I apologise in advance, if that's okay.
No,
but we'll see what we can do. Ahmed, if I could ask you please to turn the studio monitors off so there's no cheating, just to make sure that Ash doesn't tell me off afterwards or during. Salman, are you ready?
I am ready.
Ash, are you ready? Good stuff. Right, let's start that clock.
Okay, picture 1. It could sting you. It flies. It's dangerous.
It's a wasp.
A wasp, yes.
Come on, let's go to 2.
Yeah, okay. Number 2 is it's a dessert. It's a dark brown.
Oh, it's a chocolate ice cream.
No, similar, but add some flour to it.
Oh, it's a floury chocolate ice cream.
No, you could have icing on it as well.
Oh, it's a chocolate cake.
Yeah, chocolate cake. Okay, the third one is it covers the windows. You won't be able to see anything. You know what do you call when a person can't see at all?
It's a piece of paper with... No, it's not. It's a
curtain.
curtain.
A person who can't see at all. What do you call them?
Blind.
Blind, yes. And the first word is it used to be skates, now it's blades.
They gave it to us. They gave it us right. So let's go on. Come on, let's go.
Okay. Number 4 is what are we using to talk?
The phone.
Yes.
Come on.
Number 5. This girl is asking me to put a ring on it. And I don't think so, because she thinks girls rule the world.
See, people would say that I'm a bit of a fuddy-duddy, but you are talking about Mrs. Z, aren't you?
No, it's a singer. She likes to sing about single ladies.
Beyonce.
Sorry?
Beyonce?
Beyonce, yes. Okay, I want to have eggs, Tom, and I want to make them in what? What would be the best way to fry them?
Salman, we're just breaking one of the rules, which we've had about 2 minutes now, so we've only got the 60 seconds. But I think you did quite well. Ash, how many?
Salman, well played, and so far you are the highest scorer. What's Salman's score again? 5, which means that you are the highest scorer so far because Nicola played with us on Sunday. She scored 4, Emma scored 3, and you scored 5. Good job, Tom.
Thank you, Ash.
I love that Mrs. Z little guess that you threw right there.
I don't know what was going on there, you know.
Right,
I do read the odd glossy. It's not just all
I can tell,
Financial Times. Don't worry about that. Paul's desperate to have a go. He's chumping it a bit over there.
You should try that lamb. You should try that lamb.
We'll be straight into that. In fact, we'll get the girls back up to try. Big thanks to Paul for cooking up a fuss this evening. Thanks to Ash for officiating. Thanks to all of our guests. And finally to you lot out there, the viewers watching.
We'll be back tomorrow with tips on how to choose the right shade of foundation, and we'll be one day closer to the big final of the guessing game. Yeah, keep those bad advice coming in. Mamta, Amy, come on up, come and have some feed. We'll see you all tomorrow. Good night.